Okay, so we'll finish talking about dedication today. When we dedicate the merit, like I was saying before, we dedicate for all sentient beings, and within that we can dedicate for specific people who are having specific problems. Okay, so it's always good to make the general one of all sentient beings first. You don't want to leave that out. And it's not like if you share the merit with all sentient beings, then the specific people you're praying for or the specific goals, aims that you're dedicating for, that they'll get less merit. Okay, don't think of it like that. You know, this is something that just kind of increases the more you rejoice and the more you dedicate. Some Buddhist traditions use the expression transfer merit, but that can be a little bit confusing because then we think of merit as some kind of spiritual money in a bank account and you're sending a draft to somebody else that they can use, but it's not like that, okay? Because everybody creates their own karma. We can't experience the result of somebody else's karma, but when we dedicate, we're directing the way we want it to ripen, and when we direct it towards other people, we're setting up a good energy field, so to speak, around them, so that their own good karma can ripen. You know, of course, they need to have created some causes, some merit themselves for those dedications to work. It's also important when we dedicate to meditate on what they call the circle of three. In other words, the agent, action, and object, and to see how these three are interdependent, how none of them exist from their own side, but they all exist only in mutual relationship to each other. So we only become somebody who is dedicating merit, who has created and has dedicated merit, independent upon the action that we did, and here the action of dedicating. And you know, the action of dedicating only becomes that action because there is merit and an agent who created it, and the merit only becomes merit because it was created through an action. And so, you know, we see that, you know, the agent depends on the merit and the action, and so on. All three depend on each other. So seeing that they're dependent like that, that means none of them exist from their own side as being what they are. And so they say when you dedicate like this with the circle of three, then that really protects the merit from being destroyed afterwards, and it makes the merit very strong, and it also increases our wisdom because we are contemplating dependent arising and emptiness and how they come together at the same point. Okay, so try to do that with your dedications too. We can dedicate after each action we do, or sometimes you do a longer dedication in the evening. You do something brief after each action or each session that you do, and then something longer in the evening. If you're very tired in the evening, do your longer dedication at another time of the day. Yeah. Sometimes they do it so, like if you have more than one teaching session in a day, you dedicate only at the end of the last one, not at the end of the earlier ones. But sometimes they also do at the end of the early ones. There's no right or wrong regarding this. Okay, but if you miss a dedication during the day, then you just do it in the evening or later on. Mm-hmm.
Is dedicating with a verbal prayer better than just mentally thinking of dedicating it?
Okay, so is dedicating with a verbal prayer better than mentally thinking of it? I think the most important thing is the force of your thought, okay? If you say the prayer verbally, plus you have a strong thought, that's very good. But sometimes we say the prayers blah, blah, I know I do, and that actually when I stop and really think about what I'm dedicating for and put it in my own words, that then I feel something stronger. But other times, you know, just by saying the verse somebody else wrote, it will remind me of how to think and it will evoke a stronger feeling. So I think the important thing is what we're feeling.